This is your captain speaking. As you can tell in the cabin, we're hitting some shaky times, and it's about to get worse. So please take a moment, make sure you are buckled, and the loved ones around you are buckled, because we're about to hit turbulent truth. In 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Turbulent Truth. I am Gary Chapman.
And I'm Scott Cutcher.
That's him, right there. And we try to be true to our brand. We try to tell you the truth, regardless of how turbulent it may get. And it
usually is.
It usually is. We talk about whatever pops into our heads after we get started. We generally have a start point, and then we just let it go.
Is this a start point?
This was it.
You sure?
This was it.
Okay.
So we do tend to overspeak each other, and that's annoying, I know. So we try to stop that with this little device. We have, when you touch this, he's got 10 seconds. If I think he's ranting on and I need him to wrap it up so I can rant on, I touch that, and he's got 10 seconds.
And then the baby laughs.
And then the baby's going to laugh.
Yeah.
And it's my turn.
Yeah.
And he has absolutely the same freedom toward me when he feels the same
But
thing.
you never ran on.
I do.
No,
I do.
ever.
I do.
Okay.
So this week, what has overwhelmed me this week
Oh gosh, you got a topic coming in here.
on multiple fronts. And that's the problem, because it is so wide, so broad. This may be a series. I don't know. Most people believe that life, certainly a life in the spiritual sense, in Christ, if you lean that direction, which obviously we do, is about love.
Well, yeah.
No. It's about trust.
We are not going to talk about trust
It's
today.
about trust. Yes. Obviously, love is at the core of all of that. But
Yeah.
trust is so vital. It is so incredibly important in relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Relationship with your wife, relationship with your kids, with your friends,
Yeah.
with your country. I long for the days when I trusted my government. When I was a kid,
It was a given. It was a
absolute given.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a crook now and then.
Well,
I
yeah.
did not. Yeah, there's going to be all that stuff.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yes. But the trust was in the office. It wasn't just the person going into it. We trusted the system. We trusted the office. We trusted the Constitution, how it was all outlined by our forefathers.
still do.
I do too.
They're just not doing it.
But the trust transferred. It was like a given transfer in your mind, right? If that person got elected, it was done through a trusted system. We can trust that person, right? It was all trust.
There you
And now
go.
it's gotten eroded and eroded and eroded.
On almost
God.
every front.
Yeah.
It's eroded. Obviously, in the individual statesman, to use the term very, very loosely,
This day and age, yeah.
and in the courts, in their ability to actually prosecute and judge according to the Constitution as it was originally interpreted and written. I'm one of those crazy people that actually thinks that is it. I believe it was inspired by God.
Yes.
For a godly
Yes.
country to exist. I think that's a unique thing, and I know it is in all of human history, and I like it. I want it to keep going, and it seems like the government is attempting to eat itself.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. Well, back to the statement about the whole, you believe it was God inspired.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more. And for some of our audience that are down south, they've probably heard of a little place. It's a museum, okay, in Texas called Wall Builders.
Okay.
They've literally got the Geneva Bibles that they brought over with them
Right.
from the founders,
Wow.
where they wrote in the margins around Scripture that they got the amendments from and the Constitution from. They wrote notes around, and he's got them.
No kidding.
Yes. So my kids being homeschooled, guess who's doing road trip?
Oh, absolutely.
We're going. That's a summer trip this summer.
Sure.
And maybe we'll videotape a little bit and splice it because it's going to be phenomenal. The point is that we know that that's true. We also know that they've tried to say it's not true.
Well,
because if you rewrite history and you mess with trust, and you don't know what to trust, you'll trust the voices that are loudest.
We touched on it last week when you correctly identified that this whole transgender thing is about tearing down identity.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
You can't, they're trying to convince you can't even trust your own genitals. You can't. They may be lying to you. They may not be the right ones. They may be wrong. No, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
I'm censoring right now. I'm censoring.
You're censoring me?
No, me. What I want to say so
thanks.
badly.
Well, you should follow that impulse without question. He's an edit nightmare, but in a good way. In a good way.
Wow. Wow.
No, but it's bizarre the level that it's gotten to.
My 16-year-old, she doesn't even know what to trust.
Right.
The good news about that is they're developing a BS meter that's phenomenal.
That is
right?
an amazing thing.
That is
It's
a
true.
good thing.
It's true.
So I'm looking at the silver lining. But man, if I can't tell you how many times I go, would you just trust me? Would you? Her own father, right? I'm like, have I ever lied? I tell you the truth to the point where it hurts. Right. So you should know by now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'll be kind, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Right.
And even then, and the one that's really bad is the 7-year-old. He trusts nothing. He has to verify everything.
Does that not break your heart a bit?
It does. And it really, at times I watch it get to Cindy because he's so jaded. And honestly, that was done in the school system.
Wow. Which he's no longer participating in.
No, he is not.
No way.
Matter of fact, that's our new threat. Do you want to go back to the regular school? No, Dad. I'm sorry, Dad.
Well, it is such a broad thing. So let's narrow it down. Who knows where to start?
I kind of like where you're going with the government because I think that parlays.
But even that's broad.
Yeah, but it parlays into a lot of things, right? So government and media.
Here's a good one. Oh, okay. There you go. We're on the same path.
Okay.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I was going to say was known as the Fourth Estate. The whole media journalistic world that was supposed to be the watchdog when all the politicians got corrupt, when everything was nasty and dirty and payola driven.
Well, they busted our guy.
They were supposed to fix it. They're in it.
I know. They're not part of it.
Up to their eyeballs.
Well, newsflash, we haven't been practicing true capitalism in decades. The elites of the corporate world, the elites of the political world, they formed an alliance. Guess what? Who owns the media? Oh, the elites of the corporate world. There's only 6 companies that own all of media in the world. That's it.
Right.
Okay. Well, guess what? We don't live in capitalism anymore. We now are in corporatism. That is when the elites get together, they benefit one another, and they determine what we get and how many crumbs we get after they're done. We've been in corporatism for 3 decades.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
Yeah. So the media and the meat is basically secured by those corporations. So what do you trust? What happened to monopoly laws? I remember when they broke up AT&T and all that stuff. What the heck happened?
So how are we going to fix that now? If everybody's corrupt, how do you fix it?
You have to be.
Ooh, me.
Yeah. I knew that was a setup. Go.
No, my.
No, I want to hear what you think about that.
It's not what I think; it's what I know.
Okay.
But my response is so simplistic that if you're not a believer, you immediately dismiss it. The only way this gets fixed is the hand of God.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I can't tell you exactly when it's going to happen, but I'm telling you, I know in my gut that at some point in the not too distant future, every devout believer and every devout atheist are going to look each other in the eye and say, that was God.
Yeah, you've said that before, and I agree.
Something's going to happen because what else is going to fix it? We're all looking at the 2022 midterm election, and that's going to be our salvation.
No, gosh,
with the same election system that we've been using,
and the people that are running.
Excuse me,
both sides. It's a joke.
Oh no! It's
a joke.
And here's publicly, I will say, I probably stopped actually being a Republican quite a while ago.
I'm a constitutionalist.
I'm an independent.
Yep.
If you got to label me something, I'm a libertarian with slightly different boundaries than some.
And guns.
And definitely lots of that. But and if, obviously, if I had to pick one or the other, I would have to be a Republican. I don't
Yeah.
have to. I don't.
Yeah.
I still have hope
Right.
for that party. I don't. My parents voted for Kennedy. Okay? Mm-hmm. He was a Democrat.
Back in the day.
He was a Catholic Democrat.
Dude.
They voted for him because he was the best guy. And clearly, he was onto something because I cannot wait for all those records to come out. Now I'm a total conspiracy theorist. Okay, he hit the button. Are we going to the grassy knoll?
Yes, we are.
No.
It was the CIA. But anyways. No, I agree with you. Back in the day, I would have been probably considered a blue dog Democrat, which meant that you were conservative on most cases, but you led with the heart first and then quantified with the head, not with the logic and then tried to justify it with your heart.
Right.
Which back in those days, a lot of the Republicans did.
Yeah.
And so I definitely would have been. But how far they've gone, I'm like, I can't get on board. So a while back myself, I did the same thing. Even though I'm registered as a Republican, because you have to register as something.
Sure.
I vote whoever's the best person.
Yeah.
The problem is, where's all the best people?
Well.
And back to your question, what are we going to do about it? God's going to do something significant. Couldn't agree more. We have a role in it. As Christians, we have a role. As the remnant, we have to tell the truth. If we tell what we're doing right now, if we tell the truth all the time,
Right.
even when it hurts, I mean, you got to tell the truth to your brethren, to people you don't know. Because here's the thing. If you tell the truth and your actions match it, the experience they have match what you're saying,
Right.
trust goes up,
Yep.
and now you have clout. And with clout, you can change things.
Mm-hmm. Here's one thing I know we can change, because one thing that has remained true throughout all the corruption, money talks.
Always. Follow the money, you'll find
Okay,
everything.
if you're still watching mainstream news and believing that those jokers are telling you the truth, stop. Just stop it.
Pretty much.
That's craziness. They've been busted so hard, and it's happening more and more and more and more on a daily basis. And this is not tinfoil hat time
it's
anymore.
not. It's all coming out.
Do you know
It's all
the
coming out.
difference? You know the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth?
What's that?
6 months. Just about 6 months.
You know where the term came from?
Not yet.
The CIA. They created the term conspiracy theory
Really?
back in the 50s to take people off of certain paths they were going on to expose some corruption. So it's
No kidding.
Yes. They use it a
that's
lot.
why you're here.
They use it a lot.
I
Look
knew
at
there
it.
was a reason.
Guys, check me. I read it somewhere. It's back in this fat mind of mine, but I need you to go out and take a look at it and double check me. But I'm almost positive it was during either 40s or 50s.
Right.
And they created, and it became very well used in the 60s.
Which, by the way, speaking of checking him, if you want to speak with Scott about all the things that he says that annoy you, you go to turbulenttruth@gmail.com.
Yeah, and address it to Gary.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's
Yeah.
honestly most of the mail is
Yeah,
is
I take-
toward you.
yeah, it is.
And
I know it.
most of
I
the
know
people want to hit you. A lot of
Well-
them want to actually hit you right in the mouth.
But you know what?
No, I'm kidding.
If I'm telling the truth and they do, bring it.
It's okay.
It's all right. I'll heal. I'll heal eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually. Depends on how big he is. But back to the whole corruption,
Right.
media, no trust. That's why we have no sponsors, guys. That's why you don't see any ads on here. None. Zero.
Well, we have one.
Well, no, but that's different. That is a personal thing that
That is
we've
true.
done, that you've done, that you're now getting me to do, which I thank you for that we believe in.
Yeah.
That changes things.
It does.
So even if you're a sponsor out there, wants to sponsor this craziness and you love this, guys, if you don't align with the values, it ain't happening. That's how we're wired. Period. End of story.
That is true.
And coming soon, maybe some interesting things of our own we may be launching.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Occasionally, I have too many ideas in my head of things that I need on a T-shirt tomorrow.
yeah, and the text prove it. I can show you the string.
is true.
It's ongoing.
So we're
The
gonna
1
we're gonna-
a.m. stuff's got to stop.
Well, still, that's where they happen.
I know.
I can't stop it. So are we going to launch
Yeah, so I'm in the
basically a store on the
and
website?
not just that. We're going to do a full website where you guys can come. You can click on these episodes and go find them, in your local channel, or you can just watch them online.
That's
and then,
good. That's
and
good.
then on top of that, we'll have a full merch. And I don't think we're going to stop at t-shirts. I think I'm kind of a hat guy. I don't know if you noticed.
I have noticed you wear a hat.
Yeah, I kind of like hats.
I drink coffee.
I may be in collaboration with a hat maker soon.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to design my own line of hats for Turbulent Truth.
I'm curious, but I want to try it on first.
What?
I'm very, very picky about my hats, too.
I know, I get it. And you know what? That's why you're the perfect test market.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So back to what do we do aside from just really?
Oh, this is awesome. Live, guys. This has got to be great.
It's a live call.
Yeah,
Hang on.
Do it.
This will be funny.
Yeah.
Wait. Yes, you're live on the air.
Oh, can you go to the grocery store for me?
I can actually.
Excellent.
What would you like?
I need tampons.
Oh. The
She's
hillbilly,
my kindred spirit sister.
the hillbilly ninja that he references.
This is
I need some cooter rock.
Oh no!
Hey, you wanted hillbilly, there you go.
Okay. Are there other things that you actually need? Calvin.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll text you.
All right.
Love you, bye.
Love you. Bye. Okay, so I forgot to put it on airplane mode, which means that certain calls can get through. That was my wife.
That is a bunch of funness right there.
Oh
She
my
is
gosh,
so
she's-
fun, dude.
She's that all the time, pretty much.
I bet your life is never boring.
Nope. Nope.
Very quickly.
No.
Nope.
I have that wife
And then his
and
daughter.
a special needs daughter.
And she is a blast.
That is much smarter than most of the people I know.
Us put together easy.
Yes.
Easy. Yeah. Agreed.
Which is an awesome thing. We should talk about her at some point.
Yeah, and Spencer.
Yes.
And we ought to introduce them
Oh no.
in the studio at the same time.
We should let them do a show together. Just sit down in the chairs and go.
Dude,
No.
I'm down.
No, it
I'm
can't
down.
happen.
Yes.
No.
Okay, it won't be live and it definitely won't be on any TV show, but
Special on the website.
Yes.
Special child's version.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. We're doing that.
Okay.
We have to.
So,
Anyways,
where
so-
were we before I got so rudely interrupted?
So back to what do we do about it, right? So it's frustrating because we feel helpless.
Yep.
We've all been screwed over. Let's just be really blunt here. It just happened to me again, okay? And I'm not going to get into it, but it happens. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens too often because we don't have a moral code. Jesus is in the middle of it.
Right.
That's the issue. We're looking at our personal truths. If I hear that one more time, I swear to God, I'm going to, the little midget, you know that little red guy on Inside Out? I want to, that's me sometimes.
You are that little red
I
guy.
think I am.
Yeah.
Because I get so mad. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And so it's frustrating because I trust too easily. And now, in this world, in the last 10 years, I've become a cynic.
Well,
Not even close to what I used to be.
I have trust issues going back myself that we should get into at some point. You can Google me and find out everything about me.
And then you can get to know him after that.
Well, half of it is true, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Maybe.
I don't care which half you believe.
Yeah.
That's freedom. That is freedom. But it is a wounding thing when it happens, but you cannot allow the wound to make you a victim, or
No.
you will lose long term in addition to the short term setback, shall we say. And that's
Right.
what we cannot do as a country. We
Exactly.
cannot become
Yep.
the victims.
No.
If we are all wounded, let's face it.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting our butts handed to us
Yeah.
on multiple levels, multiple fronts.
Yeah.
We will not be victims.
No.
Join us in
No.
making that commitment. Just do what you can when you see it. Do the right thing when it's in front of you. And bit by bit by bit, we're going to bite this thing with the help of God. We're going to get this thing back. We are.
Well, I believe that we're all being called to reclaim.
Yes.
You know that. We've talked about it before. We have let the world take over and create a new dialogue and a new narrative that wants to reshape our identities, wants to can increasingly divide us through mistrust.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know the number one thing that's going on, and I just had this conversation, this fantastic conversation with a friend of mine that's black. He's like, it's trust, man. Your group doesn't trust us. We don't trust you.
Yeah.
But yet, I've got you as a friend. I got a bunch of other guys that are white. I got a couple of Mexican friends, and we all trust each other very much.
Yeah.
Because we've been tested, and we've done it together. And we've come out the other side and realized, well, wait a minute, all this is BS. This is back to the media.
Yeah. But before
what do they have to gain? I don't understand.
Power.
Dude, they're going like this in ratings.
Power. They're still in power. They still have power. They still have power.
I think their ego is going to kill them. It's going to be the downfall.
Probably so.
Yeah.
So we mentioned earlier that we don't have a sponsor when in fact we kind of almost do.
Yeah.
We don't do commercials except for this one.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you for just a minute about a product that I fully endorse. Some friends of mine down in Florida have a hemp-based product. It's not CBD. There's no THC. You're not going to get high, but what you are going to get is better. If you have any kind of chronic pain, any kind of inflammation-based issue in your body, this is going to help you. I've started taking this morning and night, and I'm 65 this year, and I get out of bed like a 12-year-old going to Disneyland. This stuff is amazing. They have a clinical trial online that you can go and read. Again, doctorshempsolutions.com. You'll find that over 90% of the people involved in this trial, all of whom had chronic pain from like a 6.5 to a 10, took that pain to a 2 or less. All those people were on those prescription medications that none of us want to be addicted to, and they changed to this. All natural, no side effects. This will help you. My wife has a migraine now and then. Not fun. I've never had one, thank God, but I have observed it. It doesn't look like a good time at all. She takes this stuff and puts it under her tongue for 30, 45 seconds, and then takes this cream, which comes in this fabulous little dispenser here, and puts it on her temples or the base of her skull, wherever she feels like it's emanating from. Or you can take this same cream, put it on a joint that's giving you grief, your elbows, your shoulders, your knees. Let's face it, you get to be this age, everything starts hurting a little bit. This will help you. DoctorsHempSolutions.com. If you put in promo code Gary, G-A-R-Y, you'll get 10% off. Little thank you. I appreciate you listening to me. DoctorsHempSolutions.com. So you should actually try that stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
And don't forget the promo code Gary, G-A-R-Y is how you spell that. So how do you feel about the wrap-up of all of this giant thing that we can't even get our arms around? Should we? This
is episode 1.
It is.
It has to be.
I believe it is.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And when we're moved to talk more about trust, I do think it would be great to get into some of the things that you've been through. I definitely have had my share in business, in life.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's about having grit, you know? And grit really is like, I heard this once.
Grit plus faith.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. It's actually grit plus reliance, being reliant on God.
Right.
You put those two together and you have internal toughness.
And don't forget, you can also influence what we say when you send us topics, the things that you think we should talk about.
Please.
Specifically involving trust and mistrust on a general level. Help us narrow it down because it's way too big.
Oh, it's massive.
But it's also something that has to be done. Got to be done.
Absolutely.
I do have a song to wrap this one up that I think...
What? You have a song?
I do think this one's correct. This is actually a recording of a show that I did at the Grand Ole Opry House, and what we need is for God to do what we know He can do, and that's what this whole song is about. I'm going to do a quick little piece of a song that you all know, but you don't know the verse because I just wrote it. Actually, I just amended it some. There was a recitation that went with this song from way back when. Irving Berlin wrote it, and I co-wrote with a dead guy today. That's all I'm saying. While the storm clouds gather all around you and me, let us pledge allegiance to a land that's free. in a heartfelt prayer. Sing with me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the white with my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home, our sweet home. This has been another episode of The Turbulent Truth. I'm Gary Chapman,
And I'm Scott Cutcher.
and we'll be back next week.
Indeed.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night